Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today I'm talking about something I've seen pop it up over the last year or so, and that is albums being pressed on Eco Vinyl. There's a bunch of links down below. You got links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlist that I put together every week, and the Patreon page. So make sure you check all that out. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So Eco Vinyl has been popping up over the last year. So what exactly is it? So Eco Vinyl is a fully 100% recycled product. It's an album pressed out of, so if you're at the record plant or at the pressing plant, any of the flash, which is any of the stuff that they cut off the outside of the album after it's pressed, or any damaged or unsellable albums, all gets recycled. And then they take the pellets that are from that recycled product and they press these eco albums out of. So the thought process behind this is that it's more environmentally friendly, it's recycled material. The one thing we ask over and over again when it comes to records is it's all about sound quality. It's the one thing we preach over and over again is how does the album sound? And to be completely honest, when it comes to these Ecomix albums, it's kind of questionable. To be fair, I only have one Ecomix album, and it actually sounds really good. I do have another copy of it to compare it to a standard pressing that's not an Ecomix. But this is Tomorrow Never Comes. This is the new album by Rancid that came out last year. If you look over my shoulder, I've got a standard pressing of it up on my shelf up there. But this is the only Ecomix album I have. And like I said, when I compared the two, I don't hear a sound difference between the two, and I haven't read about anyone having big issues with this pressing online. But comparing this to the new Billie Eilish album, I think there's 8 or 9 different variants of her new album. All of them are on Ecomix vinyl, and from what I've seen online or what I've read about, all of them have really serious sound issues. But they're looking for Ecomix vinyl to be like the future of records. I think it's got a long way to go before it gets to that point. So I guess I'll show you what the Ecomix album looks like. At least, like I said, the only one I have. The one thing I can say about Ecomix albums is all of them are different. The one plant I know of that does a lot of the Ecomix albums, they have, I think there's 6 different colors you can choose from. And some of the colors will be, if you want a yellow Ecomix album, some of them will be light yellow, some will be darker yellow. You're going to get a lot of variation in the albums. No album is going to be the same because, like I said, it's all made from recycled material. This is supposed to be kind of a yellowish kind of color, but it really ended up being green. But you can see all the different colors mixed in through that album, like I said, because this is just recycled material pressed into an album. I guess my big issue with this is I have albums from the late 50s that still sound fantastic. So, my question is there really a need to press these Ecomix albums on something that's not really gonna degrade over time? You press an album now, this thing is gonna last decades and decades, 100 years or more, if properly taken care of. So I don't really know if there's a real need to go to something like an Ecomix vinyl that's not more just like a novelty kind of thing. I get what Billie was trying to do with her new album. Not only is the album on Ecomix vinyl, the sleeve is recycled material, the bag that the album comes in, I believe, is made from sugarcane. So everything on the album is environmentally friendly. But, are we sacrificing that for good sound quality? That's the big issue that I've got with it. Like I said earlier, though, this is all something that's very new. This is something that just started over the last year or two is when I started seeing this kind of pop up. Over the next couple of years, we could get to a point where the sound quality is much higher on these Ecomix albums, and then maybe we can have that conversation about transitioning from like a standard pressing to doing more Ecomix albums. Especially if we get to a point where Ecomix albums are a cheaper option. So if band X releases an album and it's $35 for a standard pressing of it, and the Ecomix version is $30, that'd be great. I'd love to see an option like that, but I don't really think that has been the case so far. And to be honest, it probably is not going to be the case moving forward. And with us really being in the infancy of this product, I expect over the next couple of years for there to be big advancements in it. Because for a product like vinyl records, which is prone to so many issues, quality control issues. The last thing we need is to be pressing out subpar albums and then, having younger generations say, well, why am I going to buy this on an album that sounds like garbage when I can just stream it and have it sound a lot better? Because that's kind of the issue with the new Billie Eilish album, is a lot of people are opting, me including, to stream it rather than own a physical copy of it. And I guess I should also add that pressing plants have been doing recycled albums for a very long time. It's generally a percentage of the album. I don't know what that percentage is, whether it's 5% or 10% recycled material in with the album. And that's why Japanese pressings have been so sought after for decades, is because those are used on, or those are pressed on virgin vinyl. There's no recycled material in there. So this has been a thing that's been kind of slowly building over the last several decades. And now we're getting to a point where they're trying to do fully recycled albums. I'm not really sure if this is the case still today, but I did have a conversation with a guy that worked at a pressing plant previously. This was just within the last several months I had this conversation, where he said that they would actually give the band or the label a price break on an album if they're using recycled material in the album. Like I said, whether that's 5% recycled material, 10%, I'm not really sure what the percentage is on the album, but it was an option, and it was something they would actually give like I said, price break on the album. That's why I'd like to see if moving forward, if this is something that kind of continues on, whether or not this actually lowers the price of albums. And like I said, I didn't notice a big difference between this and the standard pressing up on my wall. And that's kind of why I wanted to buy that other album, because this is the first time I had any kind of experience with Ecomix vinyl. And I wanted to see if there was any kind of big difference between the two albums. And don't get me wrong. I think, trying to be more environmentally conscious is a very good thing. Doing things like recycled jackets or biodegradable shrink wrap, I think we're probably closer to doing things like that on a larger scale. But, ultimately, I don't want to sacrifice sound quality. If the option is to go to Ecomix albums and then have a worse product, I think is going to hurt the market overall. And at that point, what's the point of even listening to records? I think we need to get to a point where we have a better overall sound quality, more consistent sound quality out of these Ecomix albums before they kind of mass produce them and have them be a bigger player in the vinyl record industry. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. I'd love to know what you guys think of Ecomix vinyl. Like I said, this is something we just started seeing pop up over the last year or so. I think the Billie Eilish album is the first really big release that I've noticed on Ecomix vinyl. But like I said, there's a lot of mixed reviews out there. I looked on Discogs, and out of the 8 or 9 different pressings on there, it's all on Ecomix vinyl. There's complaints on every single one of those pressings about the sound quality. So maybe eventually we'll get to a point where she'll release the album on just a standard black album, which I'd definitely grab a copy of it. Of the songs I've streamed off the new album, I think it's a really good album, but having it on vinyl definitely hurts it just because all the surface noise and all the complaints that are on that release. But let me know what you guys think. Like always, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.